Okay, hopefully. Hi, Councillor Bly, Councillor Dominato. It's the clerk in the chamber. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Councilor Dominato.
Yeah, we can hear you as well. Thank you. Councillor Bly?
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. We can hear you just fine. Thank you. Hi, Councillor Kirby Young. It's the clerk in the chamber. Can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have the quorum. So good morning, everyone. So let's get this meeting started. All right, good morning and welcome to the Standing Committee on City Finance and Services meeting of Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. This committee meeting is being convened in person and by electronic means as authorized under Part 14 of the Procedure Bylaw. City of Vancouver electronic meeting. As such, committee member and the public may participate in person or by electronic means. Do we have anyone? Okay, so we have someone online. So if a committee member attending by electronic means lose the connection during the voting process, team members are available to get you back online quickly while the voting process is suspended. The team members' contact information has been circulated to your email. Video of the committee members speaking, presentations, and the vote results will be projected on the live stream when available. Committee members are reminded that, in accordance with Section 14.13 of the Procedure Bylaw, members must enable their video to confirm quorum. In case of an emergency where we need to evacuate the building, I would like to direct your attention to the two exits. There are two exits beyond the glass door and to the left. If the glass doors are obstructed, please direct your attention to the four exits in this council chamber. Please use stairs. Do not use the elevator. If you require accessibility assistance, please remain at your location and wait for a security staff member to get you to a safe location. I also would like to highlight that there is a defibrillator located at the end of the hallway outside of this council chamber. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded homelands of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. We thank them for having care for this land and looking forward to work with them in partnership as we continue to build this great city together. I also want to take a moment to recognize the immense contributions of our City of Vancouver's team members who work hard every single day to make our city an incredible place to live, work, and play. Deputy City Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Councillor Joe in the chair. Mayor Sim. Councillor Carr. Councillor Kirby Young.
Present.
Councillor Dominato.
Present.
Councillor Bly.
Present.
Councillor Boyle is on a leave of absence all day for personal reasons. Councillor Fry is on a leave of absence for... Is he here? Okay, good. Yep. Councillor Fry is here. Councillor Montague. Counselor Klassen, Counselor Meisner. You have quorum, Chair Joe.
Yep, thanks, Deputy City Clerk. Okay, this is the plan for the day. Any comments on the agenda items can be sent to council using the web form on the city's website. The link to that form will be posted on X at @VanCityClerk. I also want to note that the City of Vancouver's longstanding commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, including utmost respect for all genders. I remind the committee members that when addressing speakers and the city team members, we will avoid using gender honorifics. We will instead refer to the person by first and last name, role, or title. Today, we have 10 reports and 2 council members' motion. So the plan for the day is we're going to break at noon for lunch and then return at 1 p.m. to continue to deal with the remainder of the agenda. If needed, the committee will recess at 5 p.m. for a dinner break and reconvene at 6 p.m. to complete the agenda. If we don't complete all the items on the agenda, we'll recess and reconvene on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 at 3 p.m. This is next week. All right, so now we're going to consider the matters adopted on consent. Okay, so clerk, do we have enough members to include report 1 and 2 on the consent agenda? We do, right? So we did that for the quorum. Okay. All right, so councils, so there are report 1 to 10 on the consent agenda for committee's consideration. The committee may adopt the recommendations for report 1 to 10 on consent. Does any member want to hold any of the items for debate or questions to team members? Oh, I didn't see anyone on the queue. I guess we can adopt everything on
Move
consent.
consent agenda.
Okay, so
Second.
just 1 second, Councilor Dominado. So does any member want to declare conflict of interest on all those consent items? Councilor Montague?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Item number 7, and I need to declare a conflict of interest. I have a family member that's associated to one of the companies.
Thank you, Councilor Montague. All right, so we have report 1 to 10 for the consent approval. I'm going to read them one by one. So first one is 2024 Culture Grants, Equity, Indigenous, Individual Arts, and Capacity. Second, Vancouver Community Sports Grant, Fall 2024 intake. Third is the Annual Financial Authority 2025. The fourth one is impoundment towing rates and electronic tow away notice. The next one is report back, civic protocol policy amendments. Number 6, 2024 UBCM conference sponsorship of programming. Number 7, contract awards for pre-qualified contractor for construction services for sewer and other utility works. Number 8, approval of change of orders to existing contract number PS 202112229, consulting service for PNE Amphitheater Phase 1 and Phase 2 with Reverie Architecture in cooperation. Number 9, contract award, change order for IBM, provision for implementation services for SAP, Success Factors Learning. Number 10, contract award, SAP Success Factors licenses. So that's all the report on consent. Would someone like to adopt more of adoption for the recommendations before the committee contain in the report? I heard Councilor Dominado move the second by Councilor Meisner. Right. All those in favor say yay.
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 Opposed say nay. All right, this motion carries unanimously. So all those items, 10 reports will be approved on consent. So I don't need to read that again, right, clerk? Okay, all good. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, all the city staff. Oh, that's a very efficient meeting today. Right. All right, so we're going to jump into the council members' motion directly. So here I'd like to cede the chair to Vice Chair Meissner so I can introduce my motion.
Yes, Councillor Joe, please go ahead and introduce your motion.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Actually,
Vice-
apologies. Sorry, I should ask for conflict first.
Oh, yeah.
Apologies about that. Okay, so let's just, I'll take this over. So the next item is motion 1, establishing a South Asian Cultural Center of Excellence in Vancouver, is to be moved and introduced by Councillor Joe. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this item? Okay, seeing none. Councillor Joe, you have 2 minutes to introduce your motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Meissner. So, member of councils, today I'm proud to bring forward a motion supporting the creation of a South Asian Cultural Center of Excellence in the city of Vancouver. This is our campaign promise, so we're going to deliver today. For far too long, we have lacked a dedicated space to formally recognize, celebrate, and showcase the significant contributions of our South Asian community, a community whose rich heritage, accomplishments have been essential in shaping Vancouver's social, cultural, economic landscape. The center isn't just a building, it's a long overdue recognition of the South Asian community's impact on our city. A Vancouver-based center would serve a landmark for cultural preservation, learning, connection, attracting residents and visitors to experience the vibrant history, arts, and cultural traditions of the South Asian community. With Vancouver's central location, robust tourism industry, and a strong infrastructure, we are uniquely positioned to host this center of excellence and bring lasting cultural and economic benefits to our city. The province is currently in the process of public engagement of a South Asian Heritage Museum, which has highlighted the strong interest and passion from City of Vancouver's South Asian community. I have also connected with some of the community leaders from the South Asian community. They all show strong support, which we will hear later from the speakers. I also talked to a few South Asian politicians, including MPs, MLAs. They are also very keen to explore this idea and will help Vancouver to advocate and bring this center to Vancouver. Well, we are still at a very early stage, but I think this motion will demonstrate a strong commitment from City of Vancouver to have this center located in our city. So that's the introduction of my motion. Thanks, Vice Chair.
Great. Thanks, Councillor Joe. Do we have a seconder? Okay, seconded by Mayor Sim. So we'll now hear from registered speakers to this motion. Public speakers should state whether they are in support or opposition of the recommendations and may only speak once. I will also ask speakers if they are residents of Vancouver, if it's not noted on the speakers list. And our first public speaker is Paul Biesla. We have Paul on the line.
Speaker 1 is not on the line.
Okay, we'll come back to them. Speaker 2, Jag Nagra.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Jag. I just need to ask you, are you a resident of Vancouver?
I am not.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Mayor and councillors. My name is Jag Nagra, and I'm a visual artist and the chair of the Punjabi Market Collective. I'm calling today to express my strong support for building a South Asian Centre of Excellence in Vancouver. Vancouver, and South Vancouver in particular, is a place of deep historical significance for the South Asian community, with roots going back over a century. Many of the earliest South Asian immigrants settled in this very city, starting in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. They found work in sawmills, and despite facing racist, restrictive, and discriminatory policies, built one of Canada's first South Asian communities. Over the decades, South Vancouver became a cultural and social focal point where these pioneers set down roots and made lasting contributions to Vancouver's growth. Establishing this centre in South Vancouver would not only honour the community's historical significance, but also commemorate the resilience, hard work, and achievements of generations who helped shape the city. While Surrey today has a large South Asian population, it was here in Vancouver where the community's foundation was laid. Vancouver is home to North America's first Little India, also known as Punjabi Market, Canada's first Sikh Gurdwara in Kitsilano, and Canada's very first Vaisakhi Nagar Kirtan celebration. and more recently, through its redress work, the City of Vancouver has given an honorary secondary street name to Canada Place as Komagata Way to honor the passengers of the tragedy of 1914. I urge you to support this motion to honor the contributions of past generations and ensure the stories and achievements can continue to inspire future ones. By advocating for the Center of Excellence to be located in Vancouver, you would be sending a clear message to the community that you care about South Asian stories, voices, and our legacy in the city. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Jag, for speaking to council. We'll now go to speaker number 3, Tariq Malik. Morning. And you're a group, I believe, right? Yes. Okay, so please come up, and I believe groups have 5 minutes. Yeah, thank you. So please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Mayor, Council, and City staff. My name is Tariq Malik. I'm here on behalf of our vibrant and growing Bangladeshi community. First of all, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate that we are on the unceded land belonging to Coast Salish people. A few words about me. I was elected president of the Greater Vancouver Bangladesh Cultural Association, or GBVCA, in 2018 and 19. GBVCA is a non-profit organization promoting and preserving Bangladeshi culture in Canada, particularly in the Lower Mainland. There are more than 10,000 Bangladeshi families live in Vancouver, and the number is growing. Our mission is to introduce Bangladeshi culture and heritage to the diverse mainstream Canadian community. We have many volunteers who are working tirelessly. I also founded Vancouver Bangla School in 2018, and the school is still running under the supervision of Miss Aditi Datta and her team. I'm also a lifetime member of this organization called Canada Bangladesh Community Center, where we have a dream to build a community center to showcase and work together amongst our diverse communities. I'm on the advising committee for Bangabandhu Parishad of British Columbia. I want to take a moment to introduce my friends, Arif Rahman, Manjurur Rahman, and Mr. Bobby Kolam. Today, we are here to support the project to build a South Asian Cultural Center in our beautiful city of Vancouver. I've been living in this city for the past 36 years. This is the city where I established my pizza business in Kitsilano, where I have built many homes, and where our 4 children were born. I'm proud to call Vancouver my home. Vancouver is one of the most diverse and multicultural cities where our diversity adds a lot of essence to the city's population, which attracts many people from all over the world to come and live in our city. Among many other cultural communities, the South Asian community plays an important role, including community members from Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and of course, Bangladesh. I believe a cultural center as such can play a pivotal role upholding the city's mosaic fabric, which can be an example to reflect our diversity where multiculturalism flourishes. Whenever we leave our motherland for personal or economical reasons or for a better life, we also carry an emotional attachment, which can be manifested by practicing our culture and traditions. I believe it will be a blessing if we can have a space where the community can gather to understand each other and build empathy to overcome our differences, building resilience and equality. It will build bridges among various cultural backgrounds where we can overcome our stigmas and find similarities rather than differences, our strength more than weakness, love than despair. The need for a South Asian Cultural Center is undeniable. Let's celebrate our inclusion, diversity, and traditions from the respected community. I urge the council to consider our request and achieve this milestone. Finally, since it's the month of November, I want to pay respect to those who served and sacrificed their lives for our freedom. Also, it is with great respect that I remember all those freedom fighters who lost their lives in the 1971 Bangladesh Independence War, and all the women who lost their most precious. Long live our mayor, and God bless our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tariq, and for coming in today. Appreciate that. We'll now go to speaker number 4, Raj Mundra.
Speaker 4 is not in the chamber nor on the line.
Okay, we'll come back to them. And our final speaker is speaker 5, Gulzar Nanda, on the phone.
Speaker 5 is not on the line.
Okay. So we'll go back to speaker 1 and see if they're there. Paul Biesla.
I am here.
Hi, Paul. You have 3 minutes. Please go
Sorry.
ahead.
Thank you. My name is Paul Biesla. I live in Sunset, which is on Musqueam lands. Today I'm calling in to represent Khalsa Diwan Society, which is the oldest Sikh society in North America, established back in 1906. I just wanted to call in and first of all thank Mayor and Council for bringing this motion forward. This is almost a decade in the making. And I say that because a motion back from 2016 actually called for supports and infrastructure and investment in infrastructure similar to this back in 2016. Since then, multiple motions have come forward through council, and numerous studies have been commissioned by the City of Vancouver and other organizations and respected institutions that have all called for the formation and the investment of gathering spaces such as the one being proposed today by Councillor Zhou's motion. So what I can say is that even though you might not have a heavy presence today, please rest assured that thousands of respondents have already provided through multiple taking exercises what their thoughts and their feelings are in the investment in such type of infrastructure. So again, and also I believe multiple letters have been submitted from organizations that again represent thousands of folks spanning different municipalities, not just the City of Vancouver. And the reason they've chosen City of Vancouver is because of all the reasons that the councillor's motion already suggests, such as tourism and so on. I'd like to point out that, despite the misconception that a majority of the Punjabi Sikh population is in Surrey, there's a growing South Asian population from different demographics here in Vancouver, particularly from the Sri Lankan community. And the last thing I would like to say is that essentially a quote that everybody knows from A Field of Dreams essentially is that regardless of where this is built, and in particularly if we build it in the City of Vancouver, if you build it, they will come. And so a testament to that is really the annual Vancouver Vaisakhi Parade, which brings in 250,000 people on an annual basis for that one event. And so I feel if the center is built, people from all municipalities will come and enjoy the programming that takes place in that building. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
Great. Thanks so much for calling in. We will now go back to speaker number 4 to see if they may be on the line. Raj Mundra.
Speaker 4 is not on the line.
Let's try speaker 5.
No, not on the line.
Okay, so that concludes our speakers list. Thanks to everyone for speaking to the Standing Committee on City Finances and Services on this motion. Committee members, is there any discussion? And I see Mayor Sim. Please go ahead. We'll just turn your mic on. There we go.
I'll do that.
Thank you very much. I 100% support this. I think it's absolutely fabulous. When you go through the history of Vancouver and Canada, we've had a bit of a checkered past. I feel like we had two concurrent things going on. You had the the governments and the society of the day, and you had the South Asian communities, and make no mistake about it, the South Asian community built this country, and it's so great that things have changed quite a bit over the last 100 years, and we get to acknowledge what's happened in the past, and we get to sort of celebrate, and we get to honor the true history as it relates to the South Asian community, but also we get to celebrate today and going forward. And so I think this was long overdue, and I'm so happy that we're able to be part of this and to support the community and build something incredibly special. And we really look forward to this just being the start of something absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mayor Sim. We will now hear comments from Councillor Joe.
Hey, thanks, Vice Chair Meissner. I will just make some final comments here. Before tabling this motion, I met with community leaders from Vancouver's India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka community. I also received 10 support letters from organizations in 3 different municipalities, including Vancouver, Burnaby, and Surrey. This organization who sent support letter include South Vancouver Neighborhood House, Mabuhay House, Punjabi Market, South Asian Arts Society, Hindu Temple in Burnaby, Heritage Vancouver Society, Casa Divan Society, Casa Wrestling and Culture Club Association, Vancouver South Lions Club, and the Indo-Canadian Senior Society, and others. So I think supporting this motion represents far more than just construction of a new cultural facility. It's about recognize the invaluable contribution that South Asian Canadians have made to Vancouver and into Canada over many generations. South Asian community have made indelible marks in our city's identity. A dedicated cultural center would preserve, honor, and share this legacy, connecting all Vancouverites with South Asian culture for generations to come. Establishing the South Asian Cultural Center in Vancouver offers substantial benefit to our city. First, Vancouver's cultural location and vibrant tourism sector would make this center a key destination, boosting cultural tourism and enhancing our local economy. With our well-established public transit network, the center would be very easily accessible to all residents and tourists from across the region, even across the world, encouraging broader community engagement with the South Asian culture. A Vancouver-based center would also benefit from the proximity to other cultural institutions, fostering cross-cultural programming and collaboration. In Vancouver, we all know we have a Chinese cultural center, Italian cultural center, Croatian cultural center, Ukrainian cultural center, Punjabi market, and much more. So we are also supporting a future Filipino cultural center. Plus, this South Asian cultural center, I'm really envisioning a multicultural hub in Vancouver. How amazing it is. We can celebrate and showcase to the entire world about our cultural diversity that we are proud of living in this city. Vancouver has long been a starting point for South Asian immigrants and their families when they came to Canada, making this an ideal location to honor their legacy. The center would be a place of both historical significance and cultural learning, celebrate Vancouver's diversity while supporting social cohesion and unity. This ideal location is also very good for partnership with universities, cultural organizations, and local business, creating a thriving space for education, research, and cultural exchange. I can only imagine the countless opportunities and possibilities for such a center and such a cultural hub in our city. I also, in the past few weeks, I also spoke to the Minister Harjit Sajjan from the federal government and the newly elected MLA, Sunita Dur. So they are very keen to explore this idea. I will continue with my advocacy with the federal and provincial government to make this center a reality. Also, by approving 1/3 of the funding commitment, and advocating for this center to be located in Vancouver, we are taking a very meaningful step forward, making this vision a reality. This motion also empowers the mayor to write a letter to the provincial ministers to formally express our interest in hosting the South Asian Cultural Center in Vancouver. This will help initiate future conversations and the discussion with all levels of government to ensure the center reflects the values, heritage, and aspirations of Vancouver's South Asian community. So, in conclusion, let's seize this opportunity to celebrate our multicultural identity, which it's really my personal passion. And let's bring this social and economic benefit to Vancouver to honor the South Asian community's legacy contribution. So with that, I really hope that this motion will be receive support from my council colleagues. Thanks.
Great. Thanks very much, Councillor Joe. So we will now call the vote. Clerk, if you could please take us to the voting screen, and committee, if you could please register your vote on the voting panel.
Vice Chair, can I get a vote of this in favor, please? Councilor Dominato.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Councillor Kirby-Yung, vote assist in favor too, please.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dominato and Councillor Kirby-Yung. Just waiting for that. Okay, so that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who came to speak today. And that completes motion 1. And I'll now pass the chair back to Councillor Joe.
Okay, thanks, Vice Chair Meister. Can we take like 3 minutes recess? Okay, thanks.
Let's do that.
And Councillor Fry is okay. All right. So the next item on the agenda is motion 2. unlocking attainable home ownership, and it is moved and introduced by Councillor Meisner. So does any member, oh, sorry, Councillor Klaas. I wake up too early this morning. Yeah, I wake up too early this morning. Yeah, let's grab Councillor Fry. Before I ask the conflict of interest. All right, so does any member want to declare conflict of interest on this item? Seeing none, so Councillor Klaassen, you have 2 minutes to introduce your motion. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to my fellow council members for the consideration of my motion, which is to direct staff to explore a framework for attainable home ownership. So owning a home has been a longstanding dream of many Vancouver residents, and for many, however, that dream has been slipping further out of reach. Rising mortgage rates, skyrocketing housing costs, challenges with saving for a down payment, and economic pressures have made it harder for families to achieve homeownership. According to a recent surveys, 80% of Canadians now feel that owning a home is only for the rich. 72% say they have given up on ever owning a home. And a separate poll taken approximately the same time showed that 81% of Canadians believe that the dream of home ownership is dead and unattainable for most. And I look to Generation Z and young millennials who are feeling most frustrated by the huge barriers that they face in terms of getting to the housing market. Couples with good household income, and we heard even somebody speaking at public hearing last night about this, have almost zero chance to save enough money for a down payment or afford to bridge the gap needed to become homeowners. If you need to understand the reason for the political and social upheaval we're seeing among younger voters and democracies around the world, look no further than the barriers to home ownership and housing affordability. So to make home ownership a reality for more Vancouverites, we need to explore and implement innovative solutions. And that's why I'm excited to spearhead this motion, which proposes the creation of an attainable home ownership policy framework, a crucial step toward making home ownership more attainable in our city. Recent projects like the Heatherlands have demonstrated the potential for innovative models of home ownership, creating opportunities that would be otherwise attainable for many families. And I know that a few of us attended the news conference in September with Premier Eby and Minister Ravi Kahlon and the leadership of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And it was a very powerful message that attainable home ownership is possible. This initiative will pave the way for home builders, investors, banks, governments, and community partners to collaborate on creating more attainable housing projects in our city. In Ontario, a successful attainable homeownership programs have been established in partnership with Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation with their backing, as well as Infrastructure Ontario. And their innovative work serves as a great example of what can be achieved when the right partnerships come together. By creating our own policy framework, the City of Vancouver is unlocking new opportunities for the development of more attainable home ownership here right in the city. This framework will serve as a foundation for the development of these programs, opening the door for innovative solutions to be created right in our city. Our goal must be to create a range of housing options available to Vancouverites. Our city has done amazing work to expand the availability of rental housing choices, and that will continue. Housing is about both rental and home ownership. So this motion is a way of to find a balanced approach, creating pathways to home ownership while continuing to prioritize rental housing where it's needed most. And so with that, I will leave it to you, and I will certainly welcome any questions you have about this one. It certainly took me a little while to kind of get into the weeds and understand some of these opportunities a little bit better. And I'm also just confident after speaking to our city leadership team that they're ready to take this on as well. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Klaassen. You are 1 minute, 42 seconds over.
I realized
Because I
that.
called
Sorry.
your name wrong, so sorry about
I thought I could speak faster, but I couldn't.
that.
Thanks a lot.
All right, okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder for this motion? Seconded by Councillor Meisner. Okay, so committee members, is there any discussion? I see Councillor Carr, please go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, if I could ask a point of information to the mover?
Yes, please.
Great. So I'm interested in terms of the research that you've done on this as to what you believe the really key barriers are. This is my first question. What are the real barriers that we as a city could change in order to attain, to enable people to attain home ownership?
The landscape for rental housing. For example, the STIR program that began in the early 2010s, and then further Rental 100, and a real focus on making sure that there were incentives for creating more rental housing. So our secure rental policy, for example, those were policy decisions that enabled and created the opportunity for these new housing options. You know, we talk to developers a lot in our work, and the phrase that they like to use a lot is whether something pencils, meaning whether it actually, the economics make sense on it. So home ownership has been very difficult for most families and young people trying to get in for new home buyers because of that threshold of 10% of a cost of a home that is, you know, a modest home here is in the high, you know, six figures of $700,000 or $800,000 for a small place. That would mean a very large down payment. Attainable home ownership basically helps that threshold for people to coming in to be able to put down as low as 2.5% or even up to 5%. And then they have essentially an ownership model that allows, in the case of the province, where the province owns 40% of the property going into it. So you're actually building, purchasing at a 60% valuation with an option to sort of buy out the rest of that mortgage later on. And that's where the models sort of exist there. It's coming in with, you know, organizations, and I can sort of picture the Ontario Teachers Pension Fund, very stable investments to come in and actually make a secure investment in housing and work with the buyers to essentially allow them to get in and start making those mortgage payments and building equity, which I think all of us are looking for in terms of being able to afford a retirement someday. And this is something that is eluding a lot of people.
Okay. Second question. Through you, Chair.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
Given that the incomes needed for home ownership are quite a lot higher than the incomes needed for people to rent, and we do have a paucity of affordable rental as well as affordable home ownership, are you at all worried, or have you looked into the possibility that pushing for home ownership might undermine the efforts to and the availability of land for rental housing, especially affordable rental?
So that's a question that I asked right from the very beginning. Currently with our policies, again, that economic reality of how we can build rental and make it work from an economic standpoint and also from the standpoint of affordable rents. Our SRP policy dictates between 5 and 6 stories on arterial. If you're off arterial, essentially across the alleyway, we only allow for 3 to 4 stories. That particular area is not quite as economically viable for rental. So there are places where it's just going to make a lot more sense for people to, when they're exploring their options, is to partner with an agency that would be able to finance something like this and then bring in an ownership model where people can get in at a reasonable down payment and then move forward. And you know, some of the incentives that we do, parking relaxations and other things that we do are very commonplace with our rental projects. This is something that we could also do with attainable home ownership. And I would just say, add that since the adoption or changes to R11, that's now available to us.
Sorry, through you, Chair. Are you at all worried that that this might lead to rental housing on arterials, which are less sort of environmentally and health oriented, sound, and off arterials is where the home ownership is?
Well, last night we actually approved an off arterial rental, so I'm not worried about or we didn't approve it, but we had a long discussion and debate about yesterday about one of those options. Several of those are coming to public hearing. I'm not worried about us losing the opportunity to have off arterial. I'm a big supporter of being off arterial for all types of housing.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Okay, so seeing no one else on the queue, Councillor Klaus, you want to make some final comments? Or that's
I
it?
just, again, I emphasize the fact that this is an innovation, and many years ago, over a decade ago, we started to look at the paucity of rental options because senior levels of government withdrew themselves from supporting rental housing. Cities took a very strong role and have now been key drivers in being able to create more rental housing options. Right now, we're seeing with home ownership, it has eluded people, and I truly believe that some of the frustration and dissatisfaction that we're starting to see really stems from the lack of availability of being able to get into being either homeowners or affordable housing. And we really are duty bound to try and support young people, new families, new homeowners, to be able to have that opportunity. And this is, again, an early days of innovation that I think will take off once the City of Vancouver leads the way and shows that we can do this. And again, based upon the models that are already out there, it looks like that the governments are going this way as it stands. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Clausen. Councillor Meisner, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and thanks, Councillor Klassen, for bringing this forward. As you know, I'm very supportive of this proposed framework. There, you know, as you mentioned, we've seen unprecedented levels of rental construction, which is fantastic. We're going to see lots of new rental units come on the market in the next few years. I really believe that this is complementary to that. While people will have that wider selection of rental homes, there will always be that dream of home ownership. And I know that has slipped away for many people given the cost of home ownership here in Vancouver. This is not a new idea, but to have a framework at the city level would be a new idea, and I believe that that would encourage these projects to come forward. There's been a few of these projects in the past. There's one in Gastown that people may be familiar with on Cordova Street, and that did allow a lot of people to get into the market in about 10 years ago. And the way that was achieved was things like relaxation of parking minimums. There was some funding from Van City Foundation at the time. There was more basic finishes in the units, so there was cost saved there. And again, that did allow a lot of people to get into the market, first-time buyers, and also people who were living already in the downtown Eastside community were prioritized for those units. So I'm really looking forward to what staff come back with on this, and helping to ensure that Vancouverites that do want to own a home in Vancouver someday will have more options available to them at a more affordable price. So thanks again, Councillor Klassen, for bringing this forward.
Right, thanks, Councillor Meisner. Seeing no one else on the queue, so let's go to the voting panel. So reminder that any committee member participating virtually whose radio is disabled will be marked as absent for the vote pursuant to the section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. Okay, so I'm now going to call the vote. Clerk,
Chair,
please. Yeah,
can I have a vote assist in favor, please? Councillor
yeah,
Kirby Young?
noted.
Thank you.
Chair, I'll also take a vote assist in favor. Councillor
noted.
Dominato, thank you.
Councillor Dominado, noted. Okay. Councillor Carr. Okay, perfect. So this motion passed unanimously. Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, that completes motion 2 on the agenda. So we need to adjourn this meeting. So, okay, so the standing committee portion of this meeting is now complete. We will now convene in council with Mayor Sim as the chair to deal with the recommendations and actions from today's committee meeting. Over to you now, Mayor Sim. Yeah, so no worry. I need to send an urgent LOA request. Yeah, take your time. I'm
Thank you very much, and sorry for the delay there. So we will now convene in council to deal with the following recommendations and actions from today's Standing Committee on City Finance and Services meeting and one bylaw. Clerk, can we please have the roll call, please?
Mayor Sim in the chair, Councillor Carr, Councillor Kirby Young,
Present.
Councillor Dominato, Councillor Bly,
Present.
Present.
Councillor Boyle is on a leave of absence for personal reasons all day, Councillor Fry, Councillor Montague, Councillor Klassen, Councillor Meisner, Councillor Joe.
Present.
You have quorum, Mayor Sim.
Great, thank you very much. We need a motion to adopt the Standing Committee's recommendations, reports 1 through 10, and members' motions 1 and 2.
Move.
So moved.
Great. Moved by Councillor Joe, seconded by Councillor Montague. Did I see your finger up there? Oh, Councillor Meisner. Sorry, you're just Councillor Meisner. Thank you very much. All those in favor say yay.
Yay.
All those
Yay.
opposed say
Yay.
all those opposed say nay. Great. The motion carries unanimously. Okay. Urgent business. Are there any matters of urgent business?
I'm
Councillor
there.
Joe.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. So I just submit a urgent LOA request for November 19th, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. for personal business, and November 20th from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. for personal business. Thanks.
Great. So noted. Thank you very much. And then if I can see the chair to Councillor Montague.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have an LOA request for Thursday, November the 16th from 5 p.m. on for civic business.
Thank you. Right. Can you just repeat the day, Mayor? Yeah, I think
November the 16th at 5 p.m. on for civic business.
Is that the Saturday?
No, November 16th, which is, oops, sorry, November 14th. Yes. Thursday, November 14th. For civic. Thank you for that catch.
And I guess we need a seconded by Councillor Meisner. All those in favor say yay. Sorry.
We,
Sorry, we need a mover.
yeah, sorry.
We have
Yeah, actually,
Sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Carr.
My vote.
Yeah, I know the clerk has circulated email asking people to check their LOAs and to see if they can remove them so we can have quorum on Thursday. But I don't know, maybe the clerk can expand on that.
Thank you.
yes, at this point, if the LOA is approved for the mayor, then there will not be quorum for.
okay. So then if that's the case, I will withdraw the LOA. I'll put the public hearing ahead of my responsibilities with the Grey Cup and what have you, because the public hearing is more important.
Okay, so I guess maybe further to Councillor Carr's question, if there is if quorum is made and the mayor can make those dates, are we able to change the LOAs? I realize it's for civic business and some of the LOAs are for personal reasons. Just suggesting we take a 3-minute recess here. seconded as well. So that needs to be, so my understanding is, Mayor, you wish to withdraw that, your LOA?
Quorum.
Okay, so because there's a motion and a seconder, we need a motion to rescind that, and that has to have the approval of unanimous of council. So are we able to get a motion to rescind and a seconder? So, yeah, motion to rescind by Mayor Sim, seconded by Councillor Klassen, and all those in favor say yay. Yay. Opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Since you no longer have an LOA on the floor, I'll pass the chair back to you.
Point of procedure, clerk, did we put Councillor Joe's LOA request to a vote? Like, did that get passed, or did we miss it?
We have not, so that needs to be dealt with now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
if
it
we
was,
can put it on the floor and then,
okay, and so that was moved by Councillor Joe, seconded by Councillor Meisner, I believe. Is there any discussion? Great. Okay, so we'll put that to a vote. All in favor say aye. All those opposed say
Aye.
nay. Great, and that motion passes unanimously. Okay, bylaws. We have one bylaw on the agenda. Yep.
Mayor, I've asked the clerk to put me on the queue to move also 2 urgent LOAs for next week.
Councillor Dominato, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. I have 2 LOAs to submit. One is for Tuesday, November 19th, from, I think it said 6, it should be from 5 p.m. onwards, and one for Wednesday, November 20th, 6 p.m. onwards. And that is for civic business for Wednesday.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Bly.
Thanks very much, Mayor. I'm just, could we get clarification from the clerks as to meeting reserve? I'm assuming these LOAs are coming in urgent because reserve. So if that is the case, I'll also need to put forth an LOA for Tuesday, November 19th and Wednesday, November 20th.
Okay, and is that for civic business or personal?
For personal reasons.
Okay. Very much. So noted. Great, and then, so can I please see the chair again, Councillor Montague?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Good flag. I just noticed the following week as well, on the same comment that Councillor Bly had. So I'm requesting an LOA for Wednesday, November the 20th, from 3 p.m. on. And that would be for personal reasons.
Okay, and clerk, I just noticed that the queue is skew. And I'm wondering if we can get those LOAs maybe up on the screen so that we know what we're looking at. Okay, is that them? Okay, perfect. So it looks like we've got everything up on the board there. Just have a quick glance, make sure we're not missing anything. If everyone is, let me know. But we'll need a seconder, I guess, for this. Seconded by. Seconded by Councillor Zhou. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
And that carries unanimously. Okay, thank you. I will pass the chair back to you, Mayor.
Mic back on. Oh, there we go. Thank you. All right. Okay, so bylaws. We have one bylaw on the agenda for enactment. Does any member wish to declare a conflict of interest on this bylaw? Okay, so would someone like to move the motion to adopt bylaw number 1? Great, thank you, Councillor Klassen, seconded by Councillor Montague. Council, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say yay. All those opposed say nay.
Yay.
Great, thank you. The motion carries unanimously. The list of approved bylaws can be found on the city's website. Would someone like to move a motion to adjourn? Great, Councillor Joe, seconded by Councillor Montague. All those in favor say yay. All those opposed say nay. Great, the motion carries unanimously. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.